Bye, Alvin. Thanks so much. And now we're just putting a cherry on top. Everything else is icing, Haven, everything else. One more mile, make it count, stay relaxed, focus on the 3 form issues, 4 points to get you on the oval, okay? Threshold. We're all about stacking the threshold right now. Over the last 2 days, we did a good bit of quality running. On Thursday, Cole, Evan, and I had 5 miles of a broken tempo run with a goal of completing those miles at an average pace of 6 minutes and 8 seconds. We were coming off a pretty tough Sunday long run, as well as an honest effort on Tuesday at the track, getting in 4.8 Ks of good work at 5K race pace. So Tuesday was pretty tough going. Man, we were so lucky that we had Alvin with us. We definitely would have done that tempo run way slower if he weren't there. It was such a muggy morning. We were sweating buckets, completely drenched. I looked like I had just jumped into a pool, climbed out, and did my tempo run soaking wet. On top of that, the dirt was wet, and a small portion of the run had some poor footing, and it was a little difficult to keep a rhythm. But we got through it with Alvin's help, and we're so grateful and appreciative to have such good friends who are so talented and skilled to run with. And we're also fortunate because Alvin shared his Grandma's Marathon race experience with everyone on his YouTube channel. Be sure to catch his race recap for an incredible 2:49 marathon at Grandma's Marathon last month. After yesterday's really tough effort, I had a hard time recovering. It was just so much dehydration. I had a headache all day long. It took me forever to recuperate and get hydrated again. And I woke up this morning a little bit nervous because Haven had a threshold workout this morning as well. And I had committed myself to run with the kids for all of their tough workouts. Now Haven has a little bit of a different marathon goal than Cole and Evan do. So the effort level for her threshold work won't be as high for me. However, I was still really nervous because my legs were just so trash yesterday, and I was in such poor condition from all the dehydration. But a commitment's a commitment, and for me, the investment into Haven has a lot of value. So I put on my big boy pants, laced up my shoes, and went out there with as positive an attitude as I could have, with the belief that I could sustain Haven's threshold pace at 6:35 per mile for 7 miles. Now, 6:35 per mile is steady state for me. It means a heart rate at around like in the 150s. And even though I knew it'd be a big ask after Tuesday's monster tempo run, I was determined to give it my best. And Haven was determined to give it her best as well. Now, 6 minutes and 35 seconds per mile for Haven is LT1, or her half marathon race pace. And we had been progressing for the last few weeks from 4 miles to 5, 6, and this week 7 miles to get her final week of half marathon race pace effort at 6:35 per mile. And so we've built a progression where she will graduate to LT2 or 10K race pace next week with a 4-mile tempo run. So we got 1 mile of warm up in and we hit it hard. There was some undulation on Jeffrey Trail pathway, and we finished the first mile in 6:40. So I picked it up and did the second and third mile at 6:30 so that we could average at around 6:35. We took a 2-minute float at 7 minutes and 40 seconds per mile, which I'm very proud of Haven for being able to float at easy pace. Sometimes floating at easy pace is a lot harder than doing the long interval at race pace. There's such a temptation to go hands to knees or to walk or to jog really slowly. But just to decrease the speed only down to easy pace and keep the momentum going, keep that feeling that it's one continuous long run is really a difficult ask. And I'm so proud of Haven for getting that first float in at 7 minutes and 40 seconds per mile. She crushed the rest of the workout. We did another 2-mile long interval, and she was able to hit those splits right here. She stayed pretty calm during that 4th mile, but during the 5th mile, she was laboring a bit, and that's where she had labored in the past. In the last 2 weeks, at around mile 5 is when she would get into a little bit of trouble. But Haven kept it together and focused in on her form points, staying tall, keeping chin over toes, and keeping her arm motion really small. And most of all, she just stayed calm. I could barely hear her behind me. And it was nice to see that she was accepting the speed and getting into a rhythm. And then we hit that next float, and once again, instead of panicking, she relaxed, eased up on the speed just slightly, and we floated at 7 minutes and 50 seconds per mile. Now, each of the floats were only 2 minutes long, and we were back on. But Haven's breathing was a little bit more labored during the float, so I asked Haven to commit to doing 2 1-mile intervals with a 2-minute float in between each of those miles. And usually she's pretty quiet, but she responded affirmatively with some positivity in her voice. So that was a good sign. So I felt pretty confident going into those last 2 miles. I was a little tempted to put them all together and try to string together 2 miles in a row. But in the middle of mile 6, again, the breathing started to get a little bit labored. She got gapped just a little bit, but she fought back and she reconnected with Father Daniel's help and was able to finish the 6th mile in 6:36. Took another float. This time we floated at 8 minutes per mile, and Hayden really dug in, and it was the last mile and pretty much all done. Felt like it was kind of in the bag, but I gave Haven just a little bit extra incentive and told her to run that last mile for Father Daniel. Father Daniel has been such an enormous help over the last several weeks, coming every Friday morning, running with Haven and being so supportive. Father Daniel's just such a giving person and such a positive human being, and we're so fortunate to have him in our lives and have his help. So Haven gave an honest effort, and she was able to finish that last mile pretty quick. So proud of her for finishing up all 7 of those tempo miles. That's such a good effort. Stayed really calm throughout and afterwards, and we were able to cool down and get home and enjoy a wonderful breakfast. I call efforts at lactate threshold tempo runs the same way that Dr. Jack Daniels does. So sorry if there's any confusion with the naming, but Cole, Evan, Haven, and I all agree that tempo runs are kind of like the hardest efforts for us. It's the workout that we have to kind of mentally really get up for. But as time goes by and we've had more chances to experience positive results from a tempo workout, we're gaining a lot more confidence and learning how to embrace that workout, understanding that that hard work pays off. It makes us stronger mentally and physically, and it brings us so much closer to our goals for the marathon. For Haven at Long Beach in October, and for Cole and Evan at CIM in December. And it can for you too. Embrace that tough workout. Make that workout that you hate the most, the one that you love the most and you look forward to smashing. Just like my good friend Colin says. Hey, please like this video, help get it out to as many people as possible. Subscribe. If you haven't done so already, it helps out our channel a ton. Looking for a destination marathon? Then join us at the Big Island Marathon in Hilo, Hawaii, where Cole, Evan, and I are going to enjoy some beautiful Hawaiian scenery on a super fast course. Use code ALLHEART for 20% discount at registration. Hope to see you there. So much love to our Patreon team. We really can't do it without you. Got Instagram or Strava? Then you can find us right here for your daily dose of running motivation. That's going to do it for me yesterday and today. Thanks for getting all the way to the end of this video and this talk about how to grab those tough workouts by the horns, wrestle them down, and crush them so that they eventually become your favorite workouts. It's time for me to get a little bit of rest. I hope you have a great day and a meaningful run. We'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye now.